Hello. Today I want to talk about something that I saw on This Week with George Stephanopoulos this past Sunday. As you're probably aware, today, March 20th, marks the 10th anniversary of the beginning of the war in Iraq, or Operation Iraqi Freedom. And I pretty much said my piece on the war in Iraq, at least from a policy standpoint, and also out of a desire to remind people of history and what actually happened in a lengthy post on my blog about 15 months ago, marking the end of the war in Iraq. And it is in a similar vein that I feel the need to call attention to something on the March 17th episode of This Week with George Stephanopoulos. You see, Bob Woodruff is an ABC News reporter and former co-anchor of World News Tonight. In 2006, he was severely injured by an IED while covering the war in Baghdad province. His recovery was nothing short of remarkable. He sustained massive trauma to his brain and was actually in a medically induced coma for over a month. Now he looks like this. The point is, he's a good guy, and his family founded the Bob Woodruff Foundation to provide resources and support to injured service members, veterans, and their families. It's a good cause, and I was so disappointed to see Bob Woodruff make such a grievous error in his reportage on the war in Iraq for ABC News this past Sunday. Listen to this.
When President Obama took office in 2008, he vowed to bring all the troops home. 3 years later, he did.
Okay, that's not accurate. It's also false. President Obama did not bring our troops home from Iraq. The war in Iraq came to an end and our troops came home. The war ended on the terms set by the Status of Forces Agreement that was negotiated and signed by President Obama's predecessor, President George W. Bush. Of course, Bob Woodruff didn't mention that. A fair and accurate way and concise alternative to what Bob Woodruff said there would have been something along the lines of, when he was running for president, Barack Obama promised to bring all our troops home from Iraq. A month before he was sworn into office, President Bush and the Iraqi government negotiated a Status of Forces Agreement pursuant to which all U.S. troops would be out of the country by the end of 2011. And that's exactly what happened. I would never devote an entire video to a minor error made by a reporter, even if it betrayed a bias or prejudice on the reporter's part that has no place in journalism. But this was simply too big and fundamental an error to ignore. And it's inexcusable for a respected journalist like Bob Woodruff to make such an error. It's also inexcusable for the error to go uncorrected. Bob Woodruff did not correct that mistake, nor did Martha Raddatz, who was guest hosting this week for George Stephanopoulos. Oh God, that was awful. Anyway, I urge ABC to correct this mistake. Now, if you'll excuse me, then I've got to go shower and throw up. Though not necessarily in that order.